All right, listen. I had fun with that one. First and foremost, I don't endorse um, U.S. money reserves or the number that you saw on the screen, the 800 number that you saw on the screen, or that company has nothing to do with me at all. But what I do want to address is a couple things. First of all, the way I get paid for anything that I do is through sponsors. I read sponsors during my lives. Last night it was Field Up Greens, um, U.S. Tax Network for filing taxes. Tax Right was the night before. I mean, you guys know them, the ones that I read during live streams. In addition to that, I have other companies that I endorse that I enroll people into. My X-Patches system, xpatches.philgodlewski.live. Phil Silver, which is another discounted subscription-based gold and silver bullion company. I get paid in various different ways. Sometimes it's just on an advertising commission. Other times it's for signups. A lot of my contracts are with Rumble. So the actors that you saw on the screen, Chuck Woolery is one actor. Philip Deal is actually the credentials that they had listed there. He was the former ambassador to the U.S. Mint and all that stuff that you just saw on the screen. So when these people go on a commercial or do an advertisement for a particular company, they have some sort of financial interest in doing so. They're not doing it for free. Okay? And if they were doing it for free, there's a really good chance that they have a financial interest in the company itself, meaning that they have some sort of ownership interest in the company so that if the company does well, they also do well. Okay? That's how it works. With us influencers, most of you have not donated me money so that I could do what I do full time, right? I asked for donations a little bit in the beginning to get started, and once we got started, that was it. You know, I actually refunded a lot of those donations, if you guys remember, because I don't need them anymore, because I've monetized my channel to have advertisements, to have sponsors, to earn commissions from companies that I partner with. Now, the companies that I partner with are strategic in nature. I don't just randomly take anything that comes to me. In fact, I could literally fight off sponsorships with a stick. When you have the views that I have and the followers that I have, people come knocking on your door every single day. And I got news for you too. No publicity is bad publicity. So the more people talk about me online, good or bad, it's good publicity, especially online. Now, the defamation and stuff like that, different story. We'll leave that in court. But I have sponsors that foam at the mouth for me to mention them. And if one ever drops, I pick up another. And if that one isn't paying what fair market value is for my services, I drop them and I get another. And there's a never-ending list of them. That's why you'll see some changes in my channel and some new ones to come from time to time. Now, what you heard there from Woolery and from the lady who they claimed was a actual client, I think if they claim that, she actually must be an actual client, but that doesn't mean that if she's an actual client, she still can't get paid for the advertisement, because she could. I'm an actual client of all the companies that I endorse. So if I went live or made a video and said, put a little subscript down below that said Phil Godlewski, actual client, that would be true. That would be true for Tac Right. That would be true for Field of Greens. That would be true for Phil Silver. That would be true for X Patches. I'm actually wearing an X Patch right now. just to prove a point. Oh, they're hard to get off at first. Okay. Got to put back now. They do go back on, but they're not as sticky, so you got to be careful with that. It's pretty dumb that I actually just took that off. Didn't have to do that. Anyway, so an actual client just means that they have participated in the services or the product line at some point. I'm an actual client of just about all companies that I endorse. That doesn't mean that you still can't get paid a commission or a salary or a stipend or whatever you want to call it. The people that we just saw speaking, all three of them, Philip Deal, Chuck Woolery, the lady in the beginning, as well as the narrator, all got paid for that ad. There's nothing illegal about that. Now, if you were to go to that company and purchase a certain amount of metals from that company, and let's say you put $10,000 in or $50,000 in or $500,000 in, whatever, and then a few months later, the value decreases. It goes down 10%, 20%, 5%, whatever. Do you think you have the right to sue Chuck Woolery? How about Philip Deal? You think you could sue him? You think that you're going to be able to put him in jail because the money went down in your account? How about this? You think you could call the SEC and tell the SEC that U.S. money reserves did something wrong because you put in X and now your account is worth X minus 20%? Think the SEC is going to create an actionable cause against U.S. money reserves? Will they hear you out? Yeah, they'll hear you out. They'll take your call. They'll take a report. They'll probably do a video deposition because they get paid to do that. Do you have an actionable claim against Chuck Woolery? Philip Deal? Or the company itself, or any of those 100 people that were on the screen at the end? The person that you talked to on the phone that day? No, you don't. When you put any sort of money in gold and silver, palladium, platinum, copper, stock market, you could buy stock for oil, you could buy stock for Disney, you could buy stock for Netflix, Tesla, whatever. Any stock, pick a stock, buy it. A couple months later, stock goes down. Who are you going to sue? The SEC? You're going to sue the S&P 500? How about Wall Street? You going to sue Wall Street? You going to sue Tesla because their stock went down? Listen, anything you invest in, and this isn't financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, blah, blah, blah. Anything you invest in contains risk. Anything. Baseball cards. Do you know how many baseball cards I own? Through the moon, I could fill this room with baseball cards. Gold and silver. I could fill the room with gold and silver. Bars stacked as high as you can see. Coins stacked as high as you can see. Ceiling the floor. I'm aware that there's risk with those things. Stock. A while ago, I did well in Tesla stock. Bought it at $100, sold it at $1,200 or so, $1,100, something like that. Bitcoin. I'm really lucky with Bitcoin. Took that profit, put it in the gold and silver, and never looked back. Could I have lost money with that stock? Sure. Could I have lost money with Bitcoin? Who am I going to sue? Bitcoin? Am I going to sell or am I going to sue the advertisement that I saw on television to purchase Bitcoin? How about Jordan Sadler? Jordan Sadler, I saw this morning, put up a post for advertising Bitcoin. You know, it's good gains of Bitcoin or something he said. I don't remember. But maybe I should file a complaint against Sather with the SEC. See how ridiculous this is? Those of you that have rolled over a 401k or an IRA, and let's say you took $300,000 out of your current 401k or IRA and rolled it over into precious metals, you were given most likely coins that has what's called numismatic value. That means that, want me to show you one? Hold on. It just so happens that I have this one laying right here. Okay. I'm not going to show it to you yet. This is a coin that is 2 ounces of 999 fine silver. Let's do the math real quick. 999 fine silver is considered, the spot value, I should say, considered for 999 silver right now is like 23 bucks roughly. Okay. So in my hand, I own 2 ounces per ounce. So in my hand, I own 2 ounces. So 2 ounces times $23 an ounce. Let me do the math. $46. Got that? Okay. Now, this coin, based on the spot value of this coin, meaning if I melted it down and I was left with just the metal, this is worth $46 because it's 2 ounces. Okay? Now, same coin, but we did something special to it. I got this at the Super Bowl. This particular coin, with that logo on it and that on the back, now has additional value than just the metal value. Okay? Why? Because that's a very special logo that is patented to the NFL. No one could use that logo without permission for the NFL. That makes it rare, makes it hard to get. In addition to that, there were only 500 of these made in the entire world. And there will never be more than 500 of these made. This is one coin sitting in my hand that is one of 500 in the entire world because of the likeness on the coin. Got that? This is another one. Same coin. So I now have 2 of 500 in the entire world. If I were to melt both of those coins down and just be left with a chunk of silver in my hand, I would have 2 ounces melted of one and 2 ounces melted of another. $46 for one, $46 for the other. Add that up, comes to, hold on. Oh, yeah, carry the one. Duh. $92. And if I melted them, that's all I would have. Because you can no longer tell that it has a logo on it. There's no certification anymore. There's no certificate of authenticity showing that that coin was or had a logo of the Super Bowl and was not only trademarked by that logo, but also authenticated. And there's only 500 in the world printed. Minted, I should say. That is called numismatic value. The value associated with that logo and that number of coins minted adds to the spot price. It adds to the melted value. Okay? That coin right now, each of them, is worth $1,000. $1,000. That is a multiple of approximately 50 over spot price. So if you rolled over a 401k or an IRA and you got some sort of special coin that had an eagle on it or a pirate ship on it or a bird on it or a year of the rabbit on it or whatever, anything, that is a special marking. And because of that marking, there are only a certain number of that particular coin minted in the entire flat earth. See what I did there? I threw that in. I made it a little bit different than what it was. Anyway. Let's say you got a bunch of those coins, whether they were gold or silver. The value on those coins is higher than the melt price or spot price of silver or gold. Why? Because they're rare. They're specific. There's only a certain number of them made. Now, after you roll over that 401k or IRA, you get what's called a custodian account who holds your metals for you in a vault. Now, in some cases, you could have them shipped to you if you wanted to. Totally up to you. When you log into your account and you see how many coins are in there and of what type of coin are in there, you will see the value of your account. But the value of your account in that custodian account is legally, meaning it has to be shown as the spot price. They cannot show you the numismatic value of your vault. They are not allowed to do that. If you have your certificates of authenticity for the particular coins that you bought, which you will have upon the rollover, you could say, well, not only do I have the spot price of the metals, but I also have these particular coins which have a particular logo on them, and the mintage of it is 1 of 500, 1 of 1,000, 1 of 10,000, whatever it may be. The lower that mintage, the more valuable the coin is. That is called numismatic value. Big long word that just means something special about this shit. And the specialty of it is determined by what the logo is. Because if I just put a logo of Pepsi on a coin, Pepsi is a very commonly trademarked, or I shouldn't say trademarked, a very commonly used logo. You see it on shirts, you see it on shoes, you see it everywhere. It's on coins all over the place too. So that's not going to get you a really high value simply because it's not a very hard logo to come across. It's very widely used. Pepsi doesn't care. Pepsi wants their logo out there for brand recognition. The Super Bowl does not. Some of the things on your coins that you've rolled over to a 401k or IRA, they don't want that logo spread either. So they made a certain number of coins with a very specific logo, which gained value on top of your coin's melt or spot value, in addition to that melt or spot value. So your portfolio, you may have rolled over, let's say, $300,000 in your 401k or IRA from the fiat dollar, which you were with before, to precious metals. Now that you've rolled over that 300, you get your login details, you log into your custodian account, and you see 200,000. What the hell? Just 2 months ago, you rolled over 300,000. Now you log in, all things are the same, and you have 200,000. What happened? Better call the SEC. The 200,000 value that you see in your custodian account is only accounting for the spot price or the melt price of your metal. It's not counting at all towards numismatic value because the law doesn't allow the custodian to determine numismatic value. Numismatic value is determined by the mintage, how many coins were actually printed in that design, in that denomination, and the rarity of whatever is actually on your coin. So just because you log in and you see a loss, you are not calculating the actual value of your coins that are in that vault. It is very important to do that. You can't just log in and see, here's your value. That is the spot value. That value will fluctuate as the price of metals goes up and down. But that would be if you took all of your coin and melted them and just got a big ball of metal, silver or gold or whatever. Is that what you have in your vault? Just a big ball of bullion? Bullion, the term bullion, is exactly that. Let me show you bullion. Come with me for a walk through my house. There's Babe Ruth. Don't worry about him. Tree of Life is over my right shoulder. Left shoulder if you're looking at me in this camera right now. Show you the difference between bullion. Want to see my fleet? Yeah. That's quite big. And of course, whoop, whoop. That's a Z06. And of course, the plaid. And then my prized possession. Zoom. Goes like that. That's a twin turbo plug-in hybrid Ferrari SF90 Spider. 1156 horsepower, which is weird because it goes 0 to 60 in, Tesla's talking to me, it goes 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. And this one with 1100 horsepower goes 0 to 60 in 1.8. Why? Because that's fully electric. The Tesla and the Ferrari is partially electric. Twin turbo plug-in hybrid. But it also has a gasoline motor too. It's really cool. So anyway, back to it's just one of my home safes. All right, let's see here. Silver bar. See it? It's just a bar. It's not like, watch this, ready? Negative. Doesn't matter if it's dinged up, spit on, stained. It's just a bar. It's 1 kilogram. See, stamped 0.999, right? This right now is probably worth about $800, $900, $1,000, somewhere in that vicinity. I don't know, but it's about that. Okay. 1 kilogram. Heavy. Very heavy. Similarly, holy shit. Don't drop that on your toes. 100 ounce. 100 ounces. However, nothing great about this. Just the bar. See, it's got some blemishes. The way that it was poured and cast, not that great. I could if it cracked in half, wouldn't matter because I still have the same amount. I would still have 100 ounces. Get it? Okay, now. Let me show you something different. Trying to find a good one. They're all good, really. There we go. It's a flat earth coin. See how it's flat? Pretty cool, right? 1 of 100 in the world. Only 100 of these exist. See how it's in a hard case, right? Back of it. This is only 2 ounces. It's a 2-ounce coin, okay? 2 ounces, got that? 100 ounces, which is worth more? You would think the 100 ounce, right? 100 ounces times $23 spot price is $2,300. This is worth about $2,300, assuming the spot price is $23. 2 ounces. Spot price, $23 times 2. Wait. $46, right? Wrong. Way wrong. It's about a $5,000 coin. Why? Because of what's on it, number one. Number two, there's only 100 in the whole world. Whole world. You know how many bars there are from JBR that look like this? Thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. It's just cast. It's just silver. It's melted down silver, put in the shape of a rectangle, and then they stamp it with where it came from and the amount of ounces that it's on, that it has. There's a serial number on the bottom and everything, whatever. But it's just cast silver. There's nothing great about it. It's still worth $2,300 because it's 100 ounces of silver. $5,000. 2 ounces. You get it? So what the naysayers want you to believe, if you've been a customer for any of my companies, is that you've been ripped off. You haven't been ripped off. They are just manipulating your mind into thinking something different happened than what actually happened. Does that sound familiar? Because that's what we live through every day, right? One more example. These are 1 troy ounces of gold. See here, I have 2 of them in my hand. I have about 50 of them in there, sitting right there. 1 troy ounce of gold. Spot price of gold right now is about $2,000, roughly. So if you say 50 of those times $2,000, right, each. You come up with a value of, hold on, 2,000 times 50. Ooh, so 2,000, 3 zeros. Bring down a 0, that's 4 zeros. 2 times 5 is 10. Add another 0, that's 5 zeros. Plus the 1 from the 10. So 5 zeros, that would be 1, 2, 3, that'd be $100,000 for 50 ounces. Pretty good, right? Okay. Be careful with this one. Where's my gloves? Just carefully touch the sides. That is 1 kilo with the Nazi insignia, the swastika. This is less than 50 ounces. 50 ounces of those 1 ounce coins that we just saw, which sit right next to the kilo here. That Nazi gold that you just saw, because of what it is and because of the rarity, it's worth about $1 million. Less than 50 ounces. So 50 of these, 50 ounces, less than 50 ounces in the Nazi kilo, 1,100,000. How, Phil? Well, melt this. You know what it would be worth? under $100,000. Melt these. You know what it would be worth? Still $100,000. The fact that that gold is what it is, and whoops, can't do that. And it came from where it came from, gives it value beyond belief. So those that want to tell you that, oh, your portfolio dropped so much, they're lying to you. And if you want to let yourself be consumed with that lie, you can. No one's going to stop you from believing what you want to believe. It's your choice. Believe whatever you want to believe. But the fact of the matter is, numismatic value when it comes to metals is incredibly important and much, much, much more important than how many ounces you have of a particular metal. How many ounces you have, no other things considered, that's called bullion. And bullion only has spot value, melt value. Numismatic value is where it's at. And as spot value rises, not only do you get the increased value for spot value, or if it decreases, but in this case, in this example, as it rises, you get an increased value for the metal that you own, but the numismatic value rises regardless of the spot price. You could have a spot price plummet. You could have silver go from $23 an ounce to $15 an ounce. You lost that much money per ounce when that value went down, but over time, the numismatic value will continue to rise for a coin because of how old it is and because of how rare it is. Prime example of what I'm talking about. Forget my private vault, whatever. Just go to the US Mint. Try to buy a 1 ounce silver eagle. Why wouldn't that 1 ounce silver eagle be $23? It's 1 ounce of silver. Spot price $23. Try to get it for less than $90. Is the US government ripping you off? You can call the SEC and do a videotape deposition? I don't think so, but you can do whatever you want. The question is it actionable? And if you're wasting your time or putting a lot of emphasis on something that's not actionable, and you're believing descending voices that are leading you down the wrong path, all you're doing is harming yourself. I try my best on a daily basis to make other lives better. Of course, my family and my boys and my girls are more important to me than anything. But I would never sacrifice my ethics or my morals ever again like I ever did in my past lives. I will never do that again. It made me unhappy. It made me unhealthy. It led to my divorce. It led to the loss of custody of my kids. And I led a very terrible life. And I said to myself, that's it, no more. Now we're going to try to help people. And ever since I've been doing that, my life has changed. So that's my spiel. Take a closer look at the numismatic value of your portfolio if you have rolled over a 401k or an IRA into precious metals, not just the spot value. There's two different values for coins: spot price, numismatic value. You could have one without the other. You could have spot price without numismatic value, but you could never, ever have numismatic value without spot price. Spot price will always be there, whatever it is. It doesn't necessarily mean that there will be numismatic value to your coin. That's why it's important to make sure the coins that you're buying have a rarity. Is it the number that are printed, the total number that are minted? Printed, I keep saying, but minted. Or not, I should say, or is there some sort of special artifact, design? Prime example, get something with the Roman Colosseum on it. It's one of history's great marvels. That alone, or really anything Roman Empire related, has incredible numismatic value. Let me tell you a story. When I first joined 7K Metals, they had a series out. It was called the Roman Emperor series. And they released, I think it was 12 or 13 coins with different Roman empires on them. Julius Caesar. Oh man, I'm blanking. I can't think of it. I can't think of the rest. It's crazy, and I'm like really big in the Roman Empire too. But anyway, one of the coins that I bought in that collection was Julius Caesar, and I paid $599 for it. Now it was only a 2-ounce coin, $599 for a 2-ounce coin. But because it was Julius Caesar and part of this limited edition, $599 is the price. I bought it. Same day, I was lucky enough to be one of the very few members of 7K Metals that actually got it. 2 weeks? I think it was 2 weeks later, I looked on Stack and Sell, which is part of 7K Metals' reselling program. So if you have a coin that you want to sell, you go to Stack and Sell, list the coin, and other members could buy it. How much that Julius Caesar coin was going for 2 weeks later? $3,000. In 2 weeks, my coin went from $599 to $3,000. Why? Why did that happen in such a short period of time? Because the series sold out and there's no more to ever be made. That Corvette that you just saw in there, it's one of 30 in the world. The Ferrari that you just saw in there, one of 25 in the world. It's the Assetto Feriani edition. Don't know who that is, but what I do know is something good because it's only one of a few. That's how coin values work. So if you're caught up in spot price, melt price, the value of your custodian's portfolio, you're looking down the wrong path. And don't take my word for it. Ask a metals expert. Ask a coin expert. Go into your local coin shop and ask them what your most... Do this as an experiment if you're curious. Go into your local gold and silver dealer. You have to have one somewhere in your vicinity. Go in there, and the first thing I want you to ask that dealer is, where in this entire shop is your most expensive coin? Not your biggest coin, not the most ounces, your most expensive coin. He'll take you to it. Okay? Pick it up. Hold it. Say, how many ounces is this? He's probably going to say 1 or 2, maybe 5, who knows? Then you say, and how much is the price? And he's going to say 10,000, 9,000, 8,000, whatever. And you'll be like, well, how could that be if the spot price, and pull up your phone, spot price of silver or gold, whatever the coin is today, is only $23 or $2,000. How could you be selling this for so much more if it's only 2 ounces? Listen to his explanation. See if it matches what I just said. You don't believe that guy? Go to another shop. Do the same experiment. You don't believe that? Go to YouTube and look up numismatic coin value. You don't got to believe me. I may be telling you something that you don't know, but that doesn't mean it's false. It just means you didn't know it yet. And if you don't believe the first person that told you, if it was me, go get another opinion. But don't fall for the trap that the other side is laying for you and trying to make it seem like I've ripped you off, or one of my companies ripped you off or anything like that. Do your own research and stop listening to the people that are trying to frighten you out of a good move that you've made. Because essentially that's what they're doing. 40 minutes. I talked for 40 minutes on this. I hope you learned something. Because those 40 minutes that I'll never get back. And I'm calling the SEC out Woolery. This Woolery Family Feud. He used to be on there and I trusted him and my investment. I gotta get a videotape deposition today.